Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
We don't heal in isolation, but in community. This quote by author and death doula S. Kelly Harrell highlights for me the need for gathering, for coming together with PWS families and people in the community who understand. We gather to make friends, find support and offer what we can, to connect with those who can relate, and to have some time, even if only a few hours on a Saturday afternoon, where this journey doesn't feel quite so isolating. That's what the PWS Roadshow offers. This is your co-host, Annie, and I recently took my daughter, Freya, who is 14 and living with PWS, to the PWS Roadshow event in Medford, Oregon. The PWS Roadshow is a series of events throughout the Pacific Northwest, put on by the Washington, Oregon chapter of PWSA and sponsored by Soleno Therapeutics, the makers of VYKAT XR, the only FDA-approved treatment for hyperphagia. These events are an opportunity to meet local PWS families, ask experts and connect with PWS professionals in the area, learn about new and potential treatments for hyperphagia, and connect with Soleno PACE for product support and resources. As Vonnie Sheadel, chapter president, host, and organizer of the PWS Roadshow, and mom to Bill, who's 46 living with PWS, wrote about the Roadshow, because PWS is rare, families frequently face isolation, often traveling vast distances just to find specialized support. The PWS Roadshow is actively changing that narrative by establishing immediate, tight-knit local circles of permanent support right in these families' backyards, including connecting with individuals and families who may have been missed by traditional outreach in the past. So because Freya and I live in far northern California and are often closer to the Oregon border than to the rest of what's happening in California, we drove up to the PWS Roadshow to meet new families and share what we know about PWS and the work of PWSA. While I was there, I had the pleasure of not only meeting some very special people, but talking with them about this event and their experiences with PWS. In this episode, you'll hear from Vonnie herself and learn more about the event and the upcoming events, and for state chapters, how you can potentially put on an event like this. We also hear from Cainan, an adult living with PWS, and his mom, Heather, PWS parents, Joseph and Erin, and my own daughter, Freya. And they all talk about this event, along with the value and the importance of creating and attending events like these. So please remember to check out the show notes for links to upcoming PWS Roadshow events and the PWS map that Vonnie mentions, which is for the states of Washington and Oregon. And now for a little glimpse into the world of the PWS Roadshow.
I'm Vonnie Sheadel, and I'm the president of PWSA for Washington and Oregon. I've been doing that for about 30 years. I'm pretty connected to the families and like meeting them and visiting with them. My son has Prader-Willi syndrome with deletion, and he's 46 years old, doing great. He moved into supported living a couple of years ago, and he loves it. Even when he and I have a great time spending the day together or going on a trip like this, his face lights up when he gets to his own home. He's so happy there. We're having a Prader-Willi Roadshow. We have 7 sites around Washington and Oregon because we have a couple, 2 or 3 events every year in Seattle or Portland, but not everybody can go there, whether it's weather or travel expenses or whatever. It's not practical. So some people are just kind of left out, isolated. So we're going around the Northwest and meeting people where they are and trying to build a support network, meet other families from that region, meet doctors and representatives from parent to parent and different people that they can connect with in their area. And so far at every event, there's been amazing stories come out and people walking away with tears of joy. It's been really awesome. In Spokane, two ladies came that one was 14, one was 15. They had never met before. They met at the event and they got to talking and they only live less than a mile apart. And before the day was over, they had all kinds of plans to get together and meet again. And I'm sure they're spending a lot of time together now. Soleno had sponsored some other events for us and they just offered, is there anything else we could collaborate on? And this is something I've just always thought it would be nice to be able to do, just not very practical. But with having a sponsor and being able to afford renting the space and the travel to go there, I asked them if they'd be interested in that, and they were on board. So then we were off dividing into regions and making decisions about where to go. We made a postcard and sent so they didn't even have to open anything up, right?
Right.
And we have the PWS Link map on one side and the PWS Roadshow on the other side. We hope they would get some interested in something and send it out to all the endocrinologists and the specialists, psychiatrists, anybody that we thought would be caring for people with Prader-Willi syndrome, and tell them what we're doing and invite them to be involved and to tell their patients about it. And I don't know that we got anybody from doing that, but we gave it our best shot.
Mhm.
But we've got through social media and parent connections with things like ARC, Parent to Parent, Fact Oregon, and putting the information out in those circles actually was more successful. And then connections with our Facebook page, PWSA, even California organization, just putting it out there in the Prader-Willi circles and the disability circles is where we found most people. It's been like about half of the people we knew, we knew there were going to be 4 people in a region, turned out there were 8. If we knew there was going to be 8, turns out there was 16. So it seems like we only know about half of the people with Prader-Willi that are out there.
Wow. So this is a good way to build
It,
the
to
network.
build, yeah, to build a network, to build a village and help people find people around them for local support so they don't have to drive all the way to Portland or Seattle for care. The PWS map is a map that shows it's a secure map and it shows the people with Prader-Willi syndrome on it, and it shows the organizations or doctors' offices that care for them, such as Shriners, Seattle Children's Hospital, but also local doctors' offices that we can find in the towns. If we know they support people with PWS, we put them on the map. And then the only people with Prader-Willi syndrome can see it. And if you were on there, or actually you are on there, but you can find other people and you could search by city, you can search by age of the person with PWS. You could find other people in your community. We have a family that found each other. They live in the same town and they didn't know there was somebody else in that town. And it's just a small town. And they're in the same school district and they found each other through the map.
If there are other chapters in the country that want to do this, what would you recommend?
You have to get somebody in each city to co-host it. What we did is I kind of managed the overall, and then found somebody in the areas that we wanted to go that would be a local co-host, so that they could get the volunteers from that area, help to find a location, and things like that. It really wasn't hard to find a location from where I was. The harder thing is to get a hold of the doctors and the specialists to get them to tell their families about it. That outreach was the hardest. Reaching out to the people with PWS and their families through the circles that we talked about, that part was easy. We did mailing, we did phone calls. It was time consuming, but the reward is pretty great when people are walking away with tears of joy from every event. It's pretty awesome. We had a family in Bellingham. The lady was in her late 30s, had never met anybody with the syndrome before. And there was someone else there in her late 30s, and they met there and visited. They lived about 20 minutes, half an hour apart, but now they're best friends and they talk to each other. They text or call every day, FaceTime every day.
Why is it important to have these events?
Because it's so isolating, because it's rare. And now I know all the families already know this. It's isolating. And it's nice to be able to go somewhere with somebody else when you don't have to have those arguments about no, we can't do that. And we can't have that food and all those things. To go someplace and meet at a park where food doesn't have to be there and visit with other parents that get it and can relate to each other and even have a babysitter that understands Prader-Willi syndrome. It's pretty phenomenal to have that kind of support, and it's almost impossible to find in your local neighborhood. But this way, people are making those connections. Our next event is in Albany, Oregon on August 22nd, and it's at the museum, Carousel Museum in Albany, so that we have the carousel there that all the kids can ride on, or adults too. I don't care. And then we'll have Shriner who'll be there, Soleno. I don't remember all the other experts that are coming, maybe OHSU. We'll have experts there. It's great when parent to parent can come because they're an awesome resource. And PWSA will be represented through our organization, and we'll be there to talk about the map and our other activities that we have coming up.
My name is Cainan Moulter. I'm 22 years old. Heather.
Yeah, my name's Heather. I'm his mom.
In my memory, yes. In my memory, yes.
You were
This has
very
been-
little when we went to
been
see
my
you.
first PWS event I attended. It's great. It's been great. I got to meet lots of new people and hang out with them. And I found somebody else who had the same conditions as I do.
We went to some events when he was pretty young, probably, between the ages of 3 and 5. So it's been a long time since we've been to an event. Yeah. It's good to connect with families. I enjoy, for our area, I enjoy being a resource. So it's good to connect with families who maybe are looking for some advice, or maybe they're at a different point in their child's growth and development, and it's awesome to be able to say, this is the direction it's heading. Cainan is happy and thriving and living a full life. And I think when you're a parent of a younger child, it's hard to see that far ahead, and it can be really daunting to wonder what the future holds. So I'm happy to be here with Cainan and know that the future is bright. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to college. I'm in college right now. I go to our community college. I'm working towards getting a degree in political science.
And what do you do currently? What made you change to political science?
I'm currently a member of the Oregon Council on Developmental Disabilities. So I help advocate for the disabled community in the state of Oregon. The council talks with the lawmakers in our state. They talk to them and help inform them of what's important to the disabled community in the state of Oregon. Like for a few months.
You were appointed in November of
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's a lot of different issues. It's all over the place. It's a lot of different things that we work on. So it's
Mhm.
not just one specific
Right.
issue. that we work
Housing,
on.
accessibility,
Yeah.
access to medical care. Yeah, all
Lots of other things that
Mhm.
besides those things that we work on. So it's yeah.
Okay. Great. And I'm sorry, you said you're 22?
Yeah.
22. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking for different providers. You've been a lot of times with the same pediatric provider since birth, and all of a sudden it's a new animal when you have to find an adult provider. You're starting to look towards the future of, what's education look like? Is there going to be college? Is there going to be a job? Housing, what does independent living look like with supports? And yeah, so it is a big time of change for sure. we know of a few other families in the
Okay.
area, but we just don't get to connect. And we were hopeful that maybe some more would show up today. That would have been really exciting. I know he wanted to connect particularly with a family that we know about, but we don't have their contact info, and so it would be nice. But there's other events coming up, so we hope that we'll find a way to connect with them.
I'm Joseph. I'm Hezekiah's father. My son has Prader-Willi syndrome.
I'm Erin. Hezekiah is also my son. He's 3.
The event has been amazing. This is actually the first one we've been able to attend. I already know, based on my mom and her talking to you guys, that we've probably got a lot of info to discuss on the drive. And then I've loved the energy. I had a little theory a little bit down the road. We were like 0.3 miles away, and he started popping off in the back seat, started sounding off, making a bunch of noises. And I was like, "Are you Wi-Fi syncing with everybody there?" And I know he's loved it the whole time, and it's really cool to be able to like see other kids with it. I've never really seen any other kids with Prader-Willi.
This has been awesome. It's been really cool seeing other people here. I wasn't really sure how many people were going to be here. I seen it wasn't like you see like the big conferences, and those are like way out of reach for us. So it's really cool to find one that's a lot closer and a lot easier to get to. And
I'm not gonna lie though, I didn't think about it till just now talking about it, but it was pretty nice to be able to come to a pretty small one versus a really, really big one so that he doesn't get overwhelmed. Because I know sometimes he loves the crowd of people if it's the right size, and then if it's too much, he will get overwhelmed and overstimulated. So I think that's pretty cool. But typically they're like a little too far away because California is such a long state, and then that comes with the time and money. But this was on our way to where we're going, so this worked out really perfect. Yeah, we were super stoked. I like information giving from like the people who have it, and then I would also really like to talk to other families because I know that most of our journey so far, based from where we live, has been a lot of like connecting with other families on the Facebook page of like what they go through and how they go about getting stuff done when we get a lot of pushback because we're young and stuff like that. So not a lot of people like to listen the first time. No, I mean, so a lot of times we go to other families and what they're doing about it, and then we'll bring that to the table. And at this point, it's not just a Google doctor thing. We're actually seeing other families' testimonies about what they do. So it's a little more helpful than like you get the look of, oh, you looked that up on the internet. It's like, no, another family did this. So you should be able to. The 2 older ones, your daughter Freya, and then I think his name's Cainan. Yeah, it's beyond awesome for me to see that because I'll picture him in my head all day every day. Like, can he like play a sport? Is he gonna walk around at like a library by himself? Because he has a whole little personality already. So I'm wondering what it's gonna look like when he gets older. And then he's a pretty similar looking kid, and so it's just like really cool to see he's been walking around interacting. Just it was really cool to see that. It was very cool to see that.
yeah, it's just really cool seeing actual faces of people
Yeah,
instead of just Facebook pages.
right.
It's been really cool. This is definitely a fun thing to do, and it'd be nice to do again.
100%. Yeah, that's another big thing about the Facebook thing is it helps, but like these names come with faces and like they're interacting with Hezi, and that's just spectacular. I love that.
My name is Freya and I'm 14 years old. We went to the PWS Roadshow in Medford, Oregon. It was really fun and exciting because I got to hang out with people with PWS and also I made a good, nice friend. When I meet other people with PWS, I feel kind of nervous and happy and exciting and just talk about what we like to do and like have a good conversation about what they like to do. And yeah, I like being around with people with PBS. I got to meet a little one and he's so cute and funny and like wants to play with sharks and stuff, play with stuff, blocks and stuff. And I'm watching him and that makes me want to hold him because he's so like cute. I made a new friend named Olivia and we talked about interests that we like to do. And one of the things that we like to do is hanging out with horses and riding them. Yeah. And she likes being horses, and she has dogs. I have dogs. And we have like little bit things in common. I like about horses because they're like calm, and also like when you like ride them, it's like you just feel like calm and safe with them, and like comforting, and just like an animal that you like will just ride and just have fun with it and talk to them. I met Cainan, and I was doing a puzzle, and he walked up to me and said, "Can I do a puzzle too?" And he sat next to me. We talked a lot of things and talked about his dog named Clementine and how he's so cute, and talked about PWS and how it like affected us. We both need to like have potions and food, not a lot of potions, and not eat a lot of carbs and stuff, and like lock food. But I'm getting better at it. I think all the people's families with PBS would love to come there because it's fun and exciting, and you might make new friends along the way.
Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.